watch any Turfway yesterday?
Yeah, yeah, I'm playing a little Turfway right now and yesterday.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty crazy
Yeah,
when some of the long shots hit. There was like $1,000, $1 exact day yesterday. That's nuts.
yeah, no, it's a cool. It's like those things. Like today, it's been kind of chalky, but on that, like yesterday, it played kind of like it does when the wonky bombs come in. It's usually outside posts.
Yeah, there
I
was like
think
two
both
races where
both of
11, 13. Yeah.
yeah, with the exacto, and both of those they had
Mm-hmm.
like a 30-1 shot in there. But, yeah, today's been pretty chalky, which is annoying. Uh, and it's playing it seems like the inside is fine today. Um, but yeah, it's tough because it's like you can get enamored with those, like, pick 4s and 5s, but it's just so hard to, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
string
try
with
to
it.
avoid those here.
I play more trying to just key a horse and play more tries and that way where you can spread a lot for with some horses you don't even like, but are complete long shots that seem to come in. Um,
Yeah, I kind of think that's the way to do it here.
yeah,
Just seeing the results.
yeah, yeah. So I've been kind of treading lightly, but I've been playing this a little bit. Yeah, so I'm hoping I can. 'Cause I haven't really I've like dabbled in the past, but like last year was kind of the first time I paid more attention to it, and yeah, hopefully I can pick up a few things just watching the races and. Um, really, you hit one of those races a day, like a day, and it'll one of those crazy ones, and you're in good shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope to be there. I think I'm gonna try to be there next Saturday. Let me look and see if they have the entries out. Okay, it's next Saturday. I'm hoping to be there because they have one, two, three, four stakes races, so that's gonna be a nice card.
Nice.
See how those play out. Yeah, hopefully not as chalky as today, but I think you're gonna get a couple races every day. That yeah, it's just like throws the entire pig plays and everything into disorder, which is it's fun to see.
Yeah, I
All
mean
right, what'd you think of
it's only
this?
been 4 races so far, so I'm sure there's gonna be one at some point here.
Yeah, yeah. I was just saying, I think it like the first week, a lot of meets, you kind of see like the more experienced trainers like really spot play a couple horses, and it gets a little chalky sometimes. I think that happens like any meet. So yeah, you're gonna see plenty of bombs just based on the yesterday's card at least.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you think of this Saturday? Um, the card overall, what you got to look at of it?
I think it's has some good opportunities for kind of what we're talking about with some ridiculous horses coming home. I thought it was hard to. There's a lot of like maiden claiming races and a lot of not the greatest races, so it's difficult to kind of find strong opinions on like specific horses that you really want to lean on. But um, I think I think there's a ton of vulnerable favorites and some good betting opportunities for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, a lot of main stuff that it's all weather bombs anyway. I can't go down to all weather maiden claiming races. I just can't do it right now. But if you're into that, hey, that's gonna be a crazy show for some of those races, I'm sure too. So,
Yeah.
what's your first race you got to play in, or you want me to go first?
What race you got first?
I got two race two.
Okay, yeah, you go first.
All right, I'll open up then. This is a mile claiming no winners of 3 lifetime. I did think this one had some chalk that made sense in it. Most of them are going to be forwardly placed for the most part, and I'm going to go with the ones that, for the most part, either have some all weather experience or, um, have been working out on it at least. But I thought the 5 Rapper Zapper made the most sense. He's only 3-1 morning line. But I'm gonna box him with these few other horses I'm gonna talk about in a minute. But I think this horse is kind of like the class of the class. He's been running. He switched trainers when he got claimed at 25,000, and then they ran him on turf 3 times and then dirt twice, and it was kind of a variety of results. And those were also a lot lower class than he was running previously on all weather. He ran optional claiming 40,000 and 32,000 the winners, conditional races on all weather. Had good speed figures, showed up pretty well in those, and then he ran a grade 3. Didn't put up much of a fight, but it was a mile and a half against better horses. So I think this horse is gonna like kind of sweep up this field, coming back to all weather now with a different trainer. So I think that horse made the most sense. But I'm gonna box him with a couple other horses in here. The mostly inside of him, the 4 Fierce Assault, been running a bit higher claiming races on the turf, on the dirt as well. Another one coming back to all weather. Decent speed figures, has come off of the pace a couple times, or maybe not one, but got close coming off the pace. Hasn't had too many faster paces to run into, and I think this one might be a race with a couple horses that go out early. Um, and this horse has the opportunity to come right off them. I'll also throw in the 2 Spacone. This is a horse that I think might be like a gate to wire horse. This is probably going to be the front pace. Speed figures aren't fair compared to the other 2 as much, but has looked really good in the 2 races after the maiden claiming. Jumped up in class a little bit from no winners of 2 to no winners of 3 at the $15,000 mark. Only ran on turf, but Wesley Ward is typically pretty good at Turfway Park, and he gets Geraldo Corrales here, who I like on a front leading horse. So that's like the speed of the speed. These other horses are going to be chasing Spacone, the 4 Fierce Assault, the 5 Rapper Zapper, and I think as another underneath option, I did like Tom Spirit, another kind of forwardly placed horse here in the 3 slot, another inside horse. Similar profile to Fierce Assault. I like Fierce Assault a bit more. Has the all weather experience. 2 of 3 in the money at Turfway Park. But that was another kind of front place horse that I'll be looking at least in the trifectas. But I'll probably just like box these 4 horses in like an exacta, and then maybe play a straight exacta with Rapper Zapper to Fierce Assault or to Spacone, a bigger exacta with those. But those look like the most likely winners, and the pace as well in this race. Did you have any plays in this race? I'll actually also mention the 9 Coopertown. This is a horse that's kind of taking progressive steps up, and he sometimes takes a step up and then it takes him a try or 2 before he gets a win or he gets a place or a decent run in that class. But it's just kind of consistently been grinding, and put out a couple really good workouts recently. Looked good in his last race, coming closing in on the speed. So if it is a speedy race, this horse is gonna clean up late for like 4th or 3rd place at least. So since we're building out these big try boxes and whatnot, I would throw that one in underneath.
Yeah, yeah, I like what you're thinking there. I like Fierce Assault. Definitely makes sense. The bomb I like in this race is the 1 San Marcos City. Just a pure Turfway Park synthetic horse, but pretty much comes with a big run late every time. Minus 1 or 2 poor efforts, but he's just missed at 20 to 1. another second at 5 to 1, one at 10 to 1. Should be a little bit of pace, and he he's working well. Some fast works coming into today with a little bit of a break, getting back to his preferred surface. So I think that would be the one I'd key underneath um, in this race. That's the price I'd like a lot.
Okay, like a good shout out. Yeah, 47-1 workout at Turfway, 1 of 39. Yeah, that's worth looking at again for me. What race did you have a play in?
Yeah, I think the next one would be race number 4. Do you have anything in 3?
No,
Okay. Um,
go go ahead.
yeah. So yeah, race number 4. My only all weather for fillies. Claiming race 15,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. I mean, all these fillies are pretty slow. Um, so it's definitely a chaos race and a race that I think you can get a good price. The one I landed on was the number 5, Purely Mine, 15 to 1 morning line. Um, just has run some solid late pace figures closing on the turf, and has been running against somewhat tougher. It was state breds, but it was allowance company, and then entered in a claiming race last time, 20,000, and ran a decent fifth, splitting the field, kind of just closing. But I think it's just kind of a wild card getting to the synthetic for the first time, and it's one that the horses in this race really lack finish, and I think um, that she's gonna definitely be coming late. So I just think it's an absolute wide open race, and I'll take a shot with a horse that's 15 to 1 that I think has a chance. So
Okay, nice. You like that horse as like a win bet at that price?
yeah, I mean, if it's that price, probably bet it to win, and then I'd probably maybe key in first and second in a try, and mess around, or play a small double or something into that horse. Yeah, I haven't done the whole card and mapped out kind of how I'm gonna necessarily play all these horses, but um, yeah, actually, I know in the next race is a maiden race. Um, Not to skip along if you have something in this race, but I might
No,
play a
go ahead.
double, or I might play a double or something into the Cox horse. I think that horse is a standout. Um, it's tough to trust horses on this surface, but I mean, this one, if you look ahead at this race, has been working insane over this surface for Brad Cox. 485K purchase price. I mean, 59-3 from the gate, 3 back work is absolutely flying over that track. So I think that colt could just obliterate the field um, in that race. So yeah, I'm gonna take a deeper look at the early pick 4 and 5, because I do think that's a single that I'm comfortable relying on in the 5th race, which is kind of the key race in that sequence. So maybe um, if I think there's some other opportunities for some big prices, I might play something there.
Okay, cool play. Yeah, looking at the maiden race, that's actually a pretty interesting maiden race. Some good horses, some good shipping trainers coming in. Multiple horses I saw at Keeneland and Churchill Downs recently running, but yeah, those workouts are crazy for the Cox horse, and I don't have the statistics of him at Turfway Park, but they're pretty close to his like all around statistics of 20+% in most categories. So he's one of the few trainers you can seemingly trust when he's shipping in there. So that's a good play.
Yeah, exactly.
My next play is until race 7. Do you have any before then?
Yeah, so I do like the 7 in that 5th race, and then, yeah, I'll briefly talk about the 6th. I like 2 bombs in that race too. Um, yeah, sprint race 6 furlongs, claiming 30,000 non-winners with 3. I like the 6 and the 8. The 6 shaken loose. Third off the claim for a small barn, but 17% on the year. Cut back to a sprint last time and was flying late, making up ground in the stretch. So I like the finishers over on this track. It's just the way it seems to play is kind of that outside move on the turn is can sometimes be the winning mood, and there's a bunch of speed to the inside, the 1, 2, 3, 4, even kind of the 5 all have speed in this race. So I think there's going to be a pretty quick pace and looking to beat those horses. So yeah, the 6 shaking loose is 15-1, and then the 8 long shadow taking a big class drop. Has a win um, on synthetic and a second at Turfway. Last time ran better than it looks, was far back behind a slow pace and ran a nice late pace figure. So I think those two will be finishing late, and I think that race might collapse a little bit and get some bomb homes. So 6 in the race number 6 for me.
Okay, I agree with you with the I'm curious at Turfway Park. At least on these sprints, you're right about the outside move on the turn. Like it seems like if you're gonna make the move, you do it on the turn, and if you try to do it anywhere else, it kind of blows up in your face. That's it. Just the replays I've watched and the last day and a half of watching the races. That's what the good jockeys seem to be doing. But I'm curious what the difference is in the 1 and 2 turn races. I
Yeah, they
feel like
run
there's
8.
got to be a huge difference in how you like tactically have to handle those races. I don't know what it is, but I haven't studied enough. But I feel like there has to be something there.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it seemed to be yesterday that um, like even like the long shots, they came in from the outside post in the 2 turn races, which kind of makes no sense. But
Yeah, exactly.
but it was also tough. I don't think any of the inside horses won in the sprints either. So but I don't know. It seems I'd honestly rather it play like very biased one way or another, so you can kind of you can pick up on it early, and see that like you just need to be from the outside, because when it's playing fair, it's even more difficult, I think. Uh,
Yeah, especially because all weather is the third choice. Um, partially due to prize money, partially because it's newer. There's fewer races run in general in all weather. But I feel like you get these just looking at the different races, you look at the horses that are in them and they're all over the place. Like you're not gonna find such variety in many different meets.
yeah, for sure.
Makes it pretty hard sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of them, especially here, it's a lot of just like Kentucky horses that they want to run in the winter, and I just think there's no other
Yeah,
really
just
option, so
wherever they can find them.
they just say, "Hey, try it."
Hmm. All right, you got anything in the 7th, or you want me to go with it?
Oh, you got it.
All right, race 7 mile, claiming 12,500. Um, I really liked one horse in this race. Um, the pace in this race folds pretty regularly and on dirt and doesn't have a lot of experience on all weather. If you're looking at Lucky Anna, if you're looking at Miss Moon Pie, um, they've ran it at lower class levels for the most part. Really haven't done much with the pace. If you're looking at Hot Dame, the 7 Dirt Horse collapses pretty regularly when pushed. So I'm looking at a horse coming just off it. Lady Hamilton as well, the favorite in this race. I didn't like another horse that when she gets pushed hard, she for the most part has folded in her career. So I'm gonna fade her a little bit and go with the horse that I thought looked good in their last race and has come off the pace a little bit once or twice, a couple times in their career. I went with the 2 World of Wonder. Has some all-weather experience, is one of 3 at Turfway, has a bit of experience at the distance, 3 of 7 between all-weather, turf, dirt. I thought that was important as well, as this mile distance is kind of a difficult distance on the all-weather for this class of horse. Just that extended sprint kind of distance. You see a lot of horses, or the races kind of break down, and it's like 1 or 2 horses out front at the end of the race, way past any of the others. But I thought this horse has put up with some good fractions, sat just off some fast fractions that none of the other horses in this race have done. Is dropping in class since their last time they were at Turfway. Last time they were doing like allowance races, they were in a $25,000 conditional. Didn't do much with it, but I like that angle. I think there was a horse yesterday missed Tenacious, or I don't remember the name. That was the angle that I missed with her, and she won pretty big. Look at horses coming off of their last meet at Turfway, and then dropping in class into this meet. This horse ran last in 23 at Turfway, not 24. So it's been a while, and this is only the second race off of third race, I guess, off of a layoff. But I think it's probably the horse that can put up with any of the early fractions that any of these quick early need to get out but keep folding up horses are doing. So I'm gonna single this horse as into a daily double into the 8th race. There are some other horses if you're looking at the verticals in this race that I think have a shot, and it's probably going to be a pretty contested race. But 6-1, similar profile, dropping in class, similar profile to some of the other speed horses, but a bit classier, a bit more experienced. Has come off the pace a little bit, so I like that horse as a single into the next race. Also a bullet workout recently. That was in Indiana, but good workout regardless.
Nice. Yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion in that race. Yeah, I think Lady Hamilton is definitely probably the one to beat. I think the one EV Zoom Baby, I like that stretching out to a mile last time, closed it to a slow pace and won nicely. And that one can finish, it looks like. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can go. That was a difficult race for me. Nothing really jumped out.
Yeah, I like the one you just mentioned, the EB Soon Baby, the number 1. That horse had a really strong race. The last one you were talking about, just chased down and then like 2+ links in a slow pace at a mile. That was a good race. I do like that horse a lot underneath. I'll probably play that in the exactas or any of the tries I do. But we can move on to the 8. I'll play that the 2 as the single into a couple of these other horses in the 8. This is my favorite race. This has some horses I really like in it. Did you have a play in this one as well?
No, but not specifically. But I looked at the race, so.
Okay, I'll lead off, and then we can go back and forth if you got some ideas.
Yep.
It's a 6.5 furlong sprint on the all-weather. Quite a bit of speed in this race. Actually, most of the race is horses that put up similar fractions or like to try to go to the front. I'm going to. I'll mention like two horses I really like that I'll play the double into, but then I'll go into a couple others I'll box and like the exactas and the trifectas a little bit. So obviously I got to go back to Voodoo Zip. This is the 11th horse. He's on the outside now,
Back to the
which might
well.
be you gotta go back to the well when you hit
Yeah,
an
I mean,
exacta like that.
yeah, I mean, he definitely
He looked
doesn't.
really good in that last race.
Yeah,
I'll say against him is his worst races have come with this Juan Cano trainer. Um, and actually, that was part of the reason I picked him last time. Was he switched to Jesus Esquivel, stepped up in class, looked better, and then he went back to Juan Cano. And I thought, whatever training Jesus Esquivel was doing with this horse is probably going to carry over to this lower class, and he looked really good. He was weaving through traffic in that last win, so he looks great. That was 5.5, and he looked like he could get a little extra distance. He's done races at longer distances. He's won at 6.5 on the all weather. Again, not with Juan Cano, so little little iffy there. But yeah, I think he's a solid horse, and I was going to go back to him regardless. Okay, yeah, we'll be honest, but I think he actually the handicapping holds up for him in this race, and I do like him as a. He'll be on my double, so I'll go to him with the double, and then for the other double candidate, I think I would have to go with Heavy Pour just inside of him, like kind of going with those outside post positions that we've seen hold up these first few days. Heavy Pour is probably the one to beat in this race, I guess, if you're looking at the recent speed figures. All in all weather, at the distance. Swapping jockey here. Not sure it's an upgrade. We'll see. But yeah, this horse is just a really good finisher just off the pace horse. I think there's going to be enough pace in this race that he's got a good shot to run into it. Voodoo Zip kind of, I like that as well of that horse is he can be at the front or he can sit back a little bit. That last race was probably the furthest he sat back and still won, at least in his recent races. So kind of similar profile horses. Heavy Pour, I guess, is the kind of class on all weather a little bit. At least of recent races. So I'm going to go with those two in the double, the bigger double that I'll play from the previous race. But there's a lot of horses I like in this race, especially underneath. If I'm talking about the exactas, trifectas, I like the 9 Guanare. This is a horse that's dropping down way in class. Hasn't ran since Kentucky Derby Day. Ran in the Payday Mile. Against Seize the Grey, Nash, Vlahos, a lot better horses. Didn't put up a great fight in that race. Decent speed figure. Kind of got caught up in traffic and was just outclassed there. But has been working out pretty well. Brittany Vandenberg and her husband, they team up a lot, and I don't always know when to bet their horses. But if they're dropping in class and this is the race, they're going with all weather. It kind of is what you're talking about. They probably have it in Kentucky, and they're just like, where can we put this horse? But just like the class alone, I gotta bet it at least underneath. And then another horse just on the inside. So I'm looking at all these outside post positions. I'm just noticing. But Molto Vivaci, another kind of just off the pace horse that has put up with some fast fractions. Has put up finished into really fast fractions on the all weather at similar class levels. 20-1. I don't think it's that much of a difference between that horse and some of the other horses in the races. I like Fernando de la Cruz, what I've seen at this meet of him so far. Coming off of Kentucky Downs, swapping Barnes here to Eric Foster. Not really worried about any of that. I think the horse's running lines kind of speak for himself. 2 of 4 straight up, Turfway. Putting up really good speed figures doing it as well. So the 11 Voodoo Zip, and then Heavy Pour, the 10 on top with the 2 right beneath them, Guanari and Molto Vivaci as the underneath horses. But I mean, there's a lot of really good, interesting horses in this race. You looking at it, what did you think of it? I don't know if you had a play here or not.
Yeah, I didn't have a play, but I kind of like Voodoo Zip too. I think that one makes the most sense. The one I don't think you mentioned. I like that horse, the gelding. Only tried the synthetic once and didn't run great, but it's coming off some two nice turf races. Won a Kentucky Downs at 45-1, strong late pace figure there, and then shipped into Aqueduct last time and ran well again, kind of closing in behind a slow pace, only being 2 lengths. So um, I think that one, if the pace heats up, just kind of makes that big move around the turn like we were talking about. I think that one could get a good trip. And but yeah, I think Voodoo's Zip makes a lot of sense. Kind of finally rounded back into form and has won at Turfway and over the synthetic before, and should get an ideal like outside stalking trip. So maybe you can get us even richer after that last 33-1. But
Oh, we
I
can
think
only
I
we can
liked
only pray.
actually. I like the 12 midday image too, coming out
Yeah,
of
I
that
like
Voodoo Zip
midday image.
race.
Yeah, same race. Had a lot
Uh,
tougher trip that race, if I'm being
yeah,
honest.
yeah, terrible trip. Exactly. Actually, I thought ran really big. To kind of be chasing wide the whole time on turf and um, hang on for fourth, only be never quit. So that was a good effort and first time first time synthetic. So you never know. But Jacobson, Saez, that horse should run well.
Well, he has one all weather
Oh, he
off
does.
the.
Yeah.
It's an 89 speed figure, which is crazy. I'm glad you mentioned that horse because I was looking at him a lot too. He got stuck between like 5 horses last time and just couldn't get by him for a bit. He's downgrading the jockey a little bit though. Gabriel Saez, nothing against Gabriel, but he had Sammy Camacho last. And the speed figure he put up just doesn't do justice to that trip. So yeah, thinking about doing something with him as well. I'm not sure what. Maybe just a straight up box midday and Voodoo Zip. He is stretching out. I guess that's a little bit of a concern, but he seems to be. He's got the. He's got some good finishing speed at least at 5.5. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting race. I like a lot of these horses. I'll be following them after this meet, and there's going to be like some tactical stuff in this race, hopefully from some of the jockeys. So we didn't mention Two Eagles River in this race. 3-1, really good horse. Has never ran on the all weather, and the only time he swapped surfaces to turf, yeah, it was like his worst race, worst speed figure, lost by 15 lengths. Swap surface to a sloppy track, same thing. So I can't bet that horse on a track change like that. So it's a good fade, in my opinion, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, anything, any excuse to toss the favorites in these races. Doing it.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, I'm gonna
Anything you want to plug?
yeah, just gonna play these last 4 races at Turfway, try and hit something big.
Good
But
luck.
yeah, not really. I'm um Del Mar and Santa Anita, Santa Anita's not gonna start back up till the day after Christmas, so probably only be really looking at Gulfstream and and hopefully Turfway if I can get a handle on it. But and kind of a slow time winter racing after the Breeders'
Yeah,
Cup.
a little miserable sometimes, but
Yeah. Uh, Fairgrounds has had some decent cards last week, but it's I don't know, their turf course played weird and yeah, I don't know. I'll probably be sticking pretty much to the Gulfstream turf pick threes and Turfway.
All right, yeah, I'm getting on some of that Gulfway or that Gulfstream, Gulfway, some of that Gulfstream stuff too. As it's picking up, yeah, I'm all excited for Turfway. If I can hit something big, I'm definitely gonna be putting some more time into it because they run a long winter season. It's from now until like March.
March, yeah.
Yeah, it's a long,
Well,
good
it's
stretch
fucking
though.
freezing today. I don't know how that like.
It looks cold on the cameras.
It's
Like it
got to
just
be like
looks
20
cold
degrees there
because they're
at
almost in
night
Ohio.
right now. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, actually, I need I want the 9 at 32 to 1 or the 10 at 8 to 1 in this next race to hit
Okay,
a pick three. So
maybe I'll box those in a little exacta.
yeah, I have 7's a heavy favorite, but I have 7, 9, 10, 12. But the 9 and the 10 pay pretty big.
Hope that hits. That'll be a good payout with the.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and I get that 8. I had that. I like the 8 in the last race. He just won by a nose in front of a 35 to 1 or something like that. 32 to 1.
Yeah, these superfecta payouts are wild at Turfway too. That last race you're talking about $1,000 10 cent superfecta.
No, I should have.
Not a dollar superfecta 10 cent.
Just hard. Like even like I like that. I like the 11 in that race too. Who actually ran well. Kind of had a bad trip. He probably ran 5th or 6th, but like I think that's the way to play. Like I would have keyed the 8 on top and then probably 11 and second or third and just on all in the other 2 slots and kind of
Yeah, you
played
kind of have to
played
in
a bunch of
some of these.
those. Like played 8, 11, all, 8, all, 11, all. But it's just like not normally how I play. But I think that's the way to do it here because
Yeah,
that would be
it
like that
seems
would be
like it.
20, $30. And I mean the 11 didn't win, but or didn't end up running in the 4, but I mean it was a 21 to 1 horse, and if it did with any of those other ones, it would have been about the same payout probably.
Yeah, you gotta think of a little bit about how you're structuring any of these
Yeah,
horizontal or any of these vertical bets.
just tough. Yeah, it's tough to like. That's why I like yesterday it was outside, so you could kind of shorten it up by tossing the inside horses.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless. So then you can key a horse and you can play an exacta or try, maybe keying one horse and with 3 or 4 of the outside horses. But it doesn't seem like that's the case today, so it's harder to narrow down. But yeah, I want some of these trifectas with 50 to 1 shots in it.
Yeah, if I can hit a $1,000 trifecta this
Give me
week,
the 9 home in this race, please. Be great.